March the 7th, 2026. Guys, we're kind of in between the rain showers right now. Nothing rough so far, just we hear some thunder in the distance now. But I got a couple things I want to talk about. I've been meaning to get to, but this came out this afternoon. It says the war of the oil refineries opens as Israel bombs key Tehran sites, after which the Hafia refinery is targeted in Israel. It says it's a tit-for-tat oil depot war opening. This could be the next phase of escalation already in progress. Money will do it every time. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard says it has struck Israel's Hafia refinery, framing the attack as a direct retaliation for fresh Israeli strikes on energy infrastructure inside Iran. Again, tit for tat. If you hit him, the other person's going to hit back. No way around that. It ends up who can hit the hardest for the longest. But it's not only just the oil refineries. I think the U.S. or Israel or a coalition of both took out a major desalination plant for Iran there on one of the islands. So what they did, Iran, I think this was yesterday morning maybe, took out one in Saudi Arabia. And that means a lot of people are not going to have water. The one in Iran, I haven't heard the one I think it was Saudi. But anyway, the one in Iran supplied water to 30 small villages and towns in that area. So they are without fresh water at the point. So again, it's a tit for tat back and forth on that. And the water hits home quicker than the oil, because you can only go about 3 or 4 days without water and you start dehydrating and your organs start giving up. Anyway, it says, again, the Hafia refinery's been... Now, Iranian media alleges that the U.S. and Israeli warplanes started the tit for tat by hitting an oil depot in southern Tehran. The semi-official Fars news agency reported the storage site was among the largest targets in the ongoing major bombing campaign across the country. And it kind of makes sense, because regardless of who takes over in Iran or anywhere else in that area, you don't want to completely destroy all the infrastructure and then have to rebuild everything if you can help it. But Mohammed al-Shabani is saying, if Iranian energy infrastructure is now being hit, all gloves can be expected to come off shortly. And that's true, and that's what we're seeing. And take a look at this image, guys. This is the one that they took out just south of Tehran. That's quite an explosion. And that's going to do a lot of damage. It looks like it may burn for quite a while. Also, a lot of air pollution. But again, burning everything and around it, melting it basically. And again, infrastructure damage. And this is called the Tanguan Refinery, and this is in Bangar Shah, south of Tehran. It's in the Tehran province. Different image from a different angle, but you can see the fire still going right there. You see in the smoke column. Again, that's all of this is going to do, guys, is oil prices are going to go crazy. They're already predicting possibly next week $100 a barrel. And we were at 61 when this started. It's not quite doubling, but we're getting there very quickly. And this is another view. You can see the flames are very high here. They hit, looks like some full tanks. You know, the big tanks that the oil is stored in. According to that fire, again, kind of hard to see right there. But, again, cell phone and happening live. Maybe a couple more explosions, or either those or more tanks catching fire. And this is from RT, Russia Times. It says, Tehran engulfed in mushroom cloud after Israel bombs oil infrastructure. Iran strikes back at the Hafia refinery. Now, in the weather video an hour or so ago, I mentioned this, that it says the latest on the potential third carrier deployment, which was the Bush, says which would be first since Bush's Iraq war, having 3 carriers in the Mideast theater. It says the U.S. Navy is preparing to deploy a third carrier strike group to the Middle East near Iran in the coming weeks. According to a report by Fox News with USS George Bush, The CVN-77 and her carrier strike group having now completed their composite training unit exercise, called CompTUX, I guess, and expected to depart from Naval Station Norfolk in Virginia sometimes before the end of March for a regularly scheduled deployment to the U.S. Fifth Fleet Area of Responsibility. Now, if you remember, the first explosion that we saw when the war began, the first attack from Iran was the Fifth Fleet's headquarters. Remember that? They said they had been evacuated. However, due to the ongoing hostilities with Iran, it is not known if she will relieve the USS Gerald R. Ford, who entered the Red Sea on Thursday and has been deployed now for nearly 11 months, or if she will arrive to further reinforce the U.S. Navy in the Middle East. And from what I understand, the Gerald R. Ford, guys, needs a lot of repair and maintenance work. And the guys have been way overdue for a break. Anyway, Iran state media says a new supreme leader could be chosen within the next 24 hours. Is no doubt the various reformers versus hardline factions are jostling, likely with the more conservative candidates to win out. But what I read this morning was the existing Iranian Guard officials are going to go all out and lock up, arrest, and kill anybody dissenting right now. Worse than they were before, because they're saying they're trying to divide the country. Now, this is an image, again, it's going back and forth, and this is at the Dubai International Airport where a Iranian drone hit Saturday morning, this morning, briefly suspending operations, and the Emirates have resumed flights on a limited schedule. They know they can be hit, and again, Iran has about 20 or 25 different types of missiles and rockets. Some can go out up to 2,000 miles, some 1,500, 1,200, and they got different ranges and different ways to do this and different warheads. We saw just a day ago the fact that they are using the multiple warheads, where it all separates under attack and multiple warheads goes out, which, by the way, is, according to the United Nations, illegal. But again, check this out. Right there, close to the planes, right at that hangar, as this train's going by. Yeah, that would make me want to shut down everything too. It did not take out the radar dome over here. I'm not sure if that's what they were doing, trying to hit that, because they have been trying to blindside a lot of this type technology, take out the eyes of the enemy as they were attacking. And I mentioned this morning that they're saying, the Iranian side, that what they've hit in the different nations that surround them it's either an airfield or a military base from Israel or the U.S., an area that's being used by the enemy to attack Iran. So that's why they're saying, we're not attacking, say, the UAE, or we're not attacking Saudi Arabia. It's the areas that we're being attacked from, we're attacking back. But again, we are getting misinformation from both sides. But guys, because of the economic impact this is causing already, and it's just going to get worse, this thing's got to end, or we're in big trouble. It says, on the ground, the second front of the conflict is widening. Israeli air and ground raids on the Lebanese town of Nabatieh in the eastern Bekaa Valley reportedly killed at least 41 people as fighting with Hezbollah intensifies. Beirut has also been getting bombed from the air, with whole buildings leveled. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia says it has newly intercepted 2 ballistic missiles headed towards Prince Sultan Air Base and drones targeting the Shabay oil field. Rare close-up Tel Aviv strike footage with the Iron Dome clearly struggling and failing in this instance. We've seen that in the last few videos. Now, they also have a laser takedown system, but I don't think they have enough of them when you start seeing multiple warheads or 30 or 40 rockets coming in at one time. It's much cheaper to use it, but I don't know if it's as effective as return fire. Again, let's check this out. This is Tel Aviv, Russian news. There's Iron Dome rockets going up. I haven't seen this, so we're looking at it at the same time, guys. See some flashes, probably some strikes. Boom, they didn't block that one. Again, Tel Aviv. So whoever this Russian news correspondent is, he decided to move very quickly at that moment. But again, they're going back and forth. You hit our city, we're going to hit your city, things like that. I hate to say it, guys, because I'm very conservative. I'm a MAGA person. I love this country, and I want it to be conserved and not overrun. But I'm not sure they thought this thing all the way out. I don't know who they were using as far as building their war plans as their economic advisor, but they may want to rethink that because, we had oil at $61 a barrel. Now it's over 90. They're talking about it could be at 100 pretty quickly. I want to show you that report. Now, also out today, and I'm not going to go into the article. It's a premium article at Zero Hedge, and I'm not subscribed for the premium services. But it says Goldman panics, expects oil to hit $100 next week and reach demand destruction levels. They're saying our analysis of the drivers of the decline of the flows doesn't suggest a quick solution is necessarily imminent. It can't be imminent when you're doing that type of destruction to each other's oil platforms. And those have been getting hit throughout this entire conflict, guys. So all I can say is prepare. Fill up your vehicles. Prices going up. We know that's true, but it doesn't look like it's going to start going back down. And if it gets to a certain level, then it'll be unaffordable. And that's going to affect jobs, going to affect everything, transportation, food. But they're talking about now, it's costing for these ships that are trying to divert around the Straits of Hormuz, guys, through the Straits of Gibraltar or wherever, each day it costs them $1 million in fuel extra for the big tankers. One day, $1 million. And so you take 10 or 12 days on that diversionary route, and you're in some big money. Who's going to pay for that? We are. So the concerns are really growing, and that's what we've been talking about now on this channel since day 2 of the war, maybe, is the economic impact. And that if you want to be prepared for something and you're not, this is it. This is something you can see. It's in your face. You know it's coming. Look at the gas prices. Type in average gas prices in the U.S. Look at the difference in the last couple of weeks. Again, from 61 now, we're at 91, 92 a barrel, and they're talking about $100 next week. But this thing is escalating. Every time you see a strike on an oil refinery, the price is going to go up. Every time. And it's going to drag out further on recouping the ability to process oil and to ship it out. We're watching it, guys. You watch it. Again, you've got to be prepared for this. Think it all the way through, okay? Gas is going to be so high you can forget cruising around, as someone said in the comments. But again, work, supply, the cost of food, the cost of living, everything is going to go up. And you've got to mentally reset, because this planet is about to go through a global reset if we're not very careful, and it's going to be an economic collapse that resets it, and it may all be planned. But you've got to think on that level, total reset of everything you think you know. You better go you better look deep and see what you've got to have to make it, and start preparing with that thought. Again, we're watching it, guys. You watch it. Check your gas prices. Keep your tanks full. So heads up. Be safe.